welcome you to the FAQ series with Uncle Uche. This question reads thus: I find it difficult to study whenever I carry my books. Sleep overcomes me. Please, what do I do? Thank you very much for sending in this lovely question. Really do appreciate. Reading has become a very important part of our life. And at every given point in time, everybody wants us to read. And I will agree with you that in our present generation, the level of distraction has been too high. Several things have come into play to contend with our minds when it comes to reading. Reading has to do with the mind, and the mind has to be at the right position. So, the young lady or the young man who sent in this question, I agree with you because this relates with several other persons. And my answer goes this way: what should I do when it's time to read? First and foremost, I will need you to understand that when it comes to reading, you need to discover yourself. And in the place of discovering yourself, you need to understand what works for you. Because what works for Mr. A may not necessarily work for Mr. B. I'll give you a practical example of myself. While growing up in the university, I hear a lot of people say, oh, you don't want to sleep, take coffee. Put your legs in water. Do you know that personally, whenever I take coffee in the night, that is when sleep comes very fast. And I just realized that that doesn't work for me. So, how do you discover yourself? You can only discover yourself when you try out several things. Number one, how do you read? Number two, what are the things that you surround yourself with when you read? Number three, what's the environment where you read like? Some persons will tell you, oh, I enjoy, and I want to read in a noisy environment. I like to read where there's music, and so on. It may work for Mr. A, but it may not work for you. And how you will know it doesn't work for you is when you first of all try it out and discover what's my level of assimilation. Those are the things you're going to use to understand what works for me. Talking about reading and understanding, it is not everybody that is blessed with reading at night. Some people are nocturnal, some people are not. Those who are nocturnal, they can keep awake all through the night and they read. You may not be. So, if I'm not on that level, then why don't I maximize my day very well? The other thing I need to know when it comes to reading and getting the best out of it, it's how do I even read? You know, a lot of young people, a lot of teenagers have not understood or mastered the act of reading. Reading, studying, and listening are three different things. There are times you just want to listen to a conversation, a teaching, without so much details. And when you want to study, when you talk about studying, you're taking careful look at the things you're reading so you'll be able to remember. And also we need to know that everybody's level of assimilation, it's not the same. Now these are things I put into consideration so that it helps me while I'm reading. Another important thing I need to know and master is that for some persons, most persons, which has been proven, when you're reading or studying, it's good to read bit by bit, chunk by chunk. You can read for 20 minutes, take a break, you come back. Take another 20 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and you come back. Now, when you develop that attitude, you'll discover that With time, you can increase your 20 minutes to reading for 30 minutes, take a break, and come back. Rather than say, oh, I must read 2 hours direct. Before you know it, after 20, 30 minutes, once you get to your level of saturation, what happens? You begin to shut down. So, can I learn to read in bits and develop myself and build my stamina towards what I need to do? So, what should I do? Understand myself, understand my environment, study the technique that works for me, and use it to be able to get the best out of it. Thank you very much as I see you in the next series of FAQ with Uncle Uche.